Welcome to the Prophecy Club. Let's talk about the image of the beast as it relates to artificial intelligence. So I have to tell you about this situation last night that worked into a perfect conversation. So after I got done playing racquetball, I started walking to my car. There was a fella about 10 steps in front of me, and his car was parked on the far side of my car. And as we got closer, I saw him walking up to a brand new powder blue BMW M3. Beautiful car. And of course, me being a positive guy, always trying to make a positive impression and make a friend, I saw him open the car door and I said, man, that is a beautiful car. And of course, he turned, as you can imagine, he turned around with a big smile on his face. Well, all of a sudden, we were into a conversation. We were talking about his car. I mean, he opened up the door, and frankly, it was a beautiful car. And I probably turned it on a little bit more than I should, just complimenting him how beautiful it was. And, he hadn't had it long. And he was an Indian guy with not too strong Indian accent. I could tell that he had been here a long time. Anyway, so after we had talked a lot about his car, then obviously the question becomes to a person's mind, where are you getting all that money, boy? So I said, so what do you do for a living? He said, well, I work in artificial intelligence. Okay, now he had my attention. Now, let me just pause in that conversation. I want to come back to that in just a second. I want to explain to you why that is such a big and important topic as it relates to Bible prophecy. So he says he is in artificial intelligence. All right, hold on. What is artificial intelligence? Well, I'm not going to try to bring you the textbook definition. Instead, I'm going to bring you the definition as it relates to the future, to Bible prophecy. And I'm going to do it, first of all, in a movie. You remember the movie Terminator, and you remember Skynet, and you remember where all of the computers on the globe, as a matter of fact, there's been a couple of movies talking about how all of the computers on the globe were all linked together. Well, that's what Skynet was. And they had it even linked into the military. So they was basically controlling everything. And if you listen to the broadcast I made a week, maybe 10 days ago, talking about how SpaceX just put up 60 satellites in one day. I mean, I was shocked. Now think about that. How do you put up 60 satellites in one day? I mean, you got a big slingshot. I mean, how can you put up 60 satellites in one day? So I read the article on the air, and it's basically talking about that it's going to be online in 2020, but when it goes fully online, it'll actually have some 12,000 low Earth orbiting satellites around the globe. In other words, they're going to be able to touch any part of the globe within a square inch. I mean, they're going to have total internet access and coverage of the entire globe, all around the globe. And it's not going to be 4G, it's going to be 5G. Now, I just did a little research, and I'll probably do some more research on this in the next few days. The fastest connection in a 4G is a 1.4 gigabyte download. Well, that's pretty fast. But 5G is going to be 10 times faster. What they want to do is connect every part of the globe into a blazing fast internet connection so that everyone on the globe and everything, we're not talking about just every cell phone, but every car, refrigerator, phone, everything. I mean, maybe your cup of coffee. I mean, everything is going to be connected to the internet. Now, let's go back to the guy who talks about artificial intelligence, then I'll bring in Bible prophecy. So he says, well, I work in artificial intelligence. And I thought, okay, now I understand why I got to this conversation. This might be a hand of the Lord here. So I said, okay, tell me, what is artificial intelligence? And he says, well, it's basically a computer thinking and actually coming up with conclusions itself. In other words, it's not just calculating what you give it, 2 plus 2 is 4. In other words, it's saying 2 plus 2 is 4, but if you change it this, you do it this way, you paint it green, in other words, it's actually thinking of new things, thinking of how to make the automobile faster, thinking of how to get a higher gas mileage. In other words, it's actually creating and coming up with new solutions the way up to this point only a human can do. That's artificial intelligence, at least our definition for the way we're talking about it today. I said, so what do you do? He said, well, I program computers. This is getting better by the minute. I said, well, tell me more. So he began to tell me that he programs computers, sits at a computer all day long, and how he works for a biotech company that is working, and that's exactly what they're working on, is how to get a computer to think and to create like a human does, and it's going to be tied into biologics. All right, now hold on. Now let's go to Bible prophecy. Let's go to Revelation 13, verse 11. And I beheld another beast coming out of the earth. Now, when he comes up out of the earth, that is saying that this beast is of the religious sort. This is not political. This is religious. This is talking about the false prophet. And he had two horns like a lamb, meaning that the Catholic Church, I believe that's who it's talking about, just to get to the point, the two horns, meaning that there are two popes. There's a black pope and a white pope, has nothing to do with the color of the skin. One is a public pope, one is a silent pope behind the curtains. So two horns like a lamb. In other words, they act like Christians, but they are not. And he spake as a dragon. All right, now let's put that together because it's going to tie together in just a second. I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, coming up out of religion, and this leader will have two leaders that will act Christian, but they will speak as a dragon. And he will exercise all the power of the first beast, that's the political beast, that is the beast or the Antichrist, before him, and he causeth the earth. Oh, listen to this. He causeth the earth. That means everybody on the earth. Look, how do you cause everybody on the earth to do anything? Wait a minute. Now think about this. How do you cause everybody on the earth to do any one thing? How do you create, and how do you make all the earth to do anything? Obviously, you have to be able to have a connection to all of them. And obviously, that has to be a controlling connection. Well, as perhaps I'm still doing research on it, but one of the things that 5G will do is it is at the specific wavelength that our brain works at, and it is a military frequency, the exact same frequency our military currently uses to aim at someone or a crowd and make the crowd disperse, because it is actual, legal, literal, electronic mind control. What? Yeah, let me read it again. Look, guys, I'm just reading Bible prophecy here. But if you understand what this is saying, in light of where we are, you can see just how close we are, and this is about to bite us all. It's about to bite us all really hard. And he exercises all the power of the first beast or the Antichrist before him, and he causeth the earth, and it may be that he causeth the earth to do and to think things through a 5G microwave net that is covering the earth, all of them, causeth the earth and them that dwell therein to worship the first beast. Okay, so what if, let's just, because we don't know what they're doing in the little secret labs underneath the earth. We don't know all of their secrets. But what we can look at is Bible prophecy. So this false prophet has some means where he makes the entire earth and everyone that lives on the earth to worship the Antichrist, the beast, whose deadly wound was healed. Could it be that these 12,000 satellites, these low Earth orbiting satellites, and they say that they're only going to last about 12 to 18 months, and then they are designed to fall back into the Earth's atmosphere where they're all burned up, supposedly. So could it be when these 12,000 satellites are all beaming down at exactly the same frequency that our brain operates at? Could it be that all of a sudden everyone whose name is not already in the book of life is like shocked? They're mesmerized, they're controlled, they're manipulated, they are mind controlled to where they have to worship the beast. Oh, wait a minute. See, we hadn't thought about that before. We hadn't realized that. But now we're starting to understand that what was written in Revelation 13 is actually very powerful, very important. We didn't see it yet. Let's go back and read that again. And he exercises all the power of the first beast, the Antichrist, before him, and he causeth the earth, using 5G, and them that dwell in the earth, to worship the Antichrist because of these 528 gigahertz, or whatever the milligram, or whatever the millary. I mean, I'll get all that information exact here lately. But through the 5G network, they make everybody to worship the beast. It's like mind control. And he doeth great wonders. Now, yesterday's broadcast, I was talking about wonders. This is wonders like how Jesus walked on water. That was a wonder. And how Jesus was able to turn water to wine. That was a wonder. And the devil is going to use great wonders so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. And he deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the first beast. So that's the Antichrist. So this is the false prophet calling fire out of the sky and saying, this guy over here, he's God. You got to worship him. He's the God man. Everybody got to worship him. And of course, it's the beast, it's the Antichrist. Okay? That's what it's saying. Now, here's my point of the broadcast. Saying to them that dwell in the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. Now, what's the image? Do you think it's going to be a stone or brass or gold or wood? You think it's going to be some image like that? No, I don't think so. I think it's going to be like a clone. I think it's going to be, well, half man. See, Jesus, genetically. Okay, so he was born of a woman, but the Holy Spirit overshadowed Mary. So legally, literally, genetically, Jesus was a half-breed. He was half God, half Mary. Or half God, half man. Now, since the devil doesn't come up with anything new, what he does is just take what God does and pervert it to almost the exact opposite. Assuming that happens, then the Antichrist would be exactly the opposite. Half Lucifer, half man. My opinion, from all of my studies, and it would take me a long time to explain all that, probably when it says, and they, meaning who? That's the people of the earth. And that they should make an image. So the people of the earth will make a clone to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. Now, let's just pause for just another second. Now, all of these abductions, I'm not real big on all these abductions. I'm not real big on all this UFO stuff. I understand it from a point of view from Bible prophecy, but, I don't make a big thing of it, okay? I know because, the angel that held up in chapter 5, and I saw on the right hand him that sat upon the throne a book written within and the backside and sealed with 7 seals. And I saw a strong angel proclaiming with a loud voice, who is worthy to open the book and to loose the seals thereof? No man in heaven, nor on the earth, neither under the earth, was able to open the book, neither to look thereon. Meaning, there are beings in heaven and on the earth and under the earth. And that pretty much covers it all. So as far as I'm concerned, yeah, there are UFOs. And I don't exactly know where they're from, whether they're from another planet out in space, or whether they're from another dimension, or both. Who cares? The point is there are other beasts, there are other somethings out there. And it makes perfect sense to me that probably they have done some gene editing. Now, let me give you an example. There's a lot of people that have claimed to have been abducted by a UFO, but did you realize that there are over... I said 7,000 one time. Somebody corrected me and said, no. That's over 7 million, and that figure was calculated prior to 2000, the year 2000. So the Bible says in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, let a thing be established. Well, let's say there's only 7,000 people that say that they have been abducted by UFOs. Is that enough to say that's verifiable? Well, I think so. It's in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses. If you got 7,000, it's confirmed. Now, what do those people that are abducted, what is their testimony? Okay, fine. Let's say 10% are lying. Let's say 10% are crazy. Say 10% are drunk. Do you think that we have at least 2 or 3 that are telling the truth? Of course. All right, so what is the testimony of almost everyone that has been abducted? They all tell you in one way, form, shape, fashion, or another, that genetic experiments are done on them. The ovums are removed from the woman, the sperm is removed from the man, all sorts of gory, filthy things like that go on. But the point is, what they're trying to do is some kind of genetic experiment. Some of them have even had these UFO guys even tell them that they are trying to make a half man, half angel. Now, that's what they call them. We call them fallen angels or Lucifers. So let's put that together. So when it says, and they, that means the people on the earth, should make an image, that means a clone, to the beast. So the people that live on the earth are commanded to make a clone to the beast. That's a little bit down the road for us as far as we on the surface know. But people underneath the surface in the laboratories that have unlimited funding and the very best of all the minds out there probably already have it. So I was told, but we will pass that for right now. Make an image of the beast which had the wound by a sword and did live. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast. So that is a man-made something, a man-made image of the beast, probably a half man, half fallen angel, or half Antichrist and half Lucifer, is given life. And now what does he do? This image of the beast, this clone of the beast, and that image of the beast then speaks and causes as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Well, that fits with what David Phillips was given in his vision, where he was shown that everyone on the earth turned against the Christians, and they called themselves the true believers, and anyone that wouldn't take the mark of the beast, they called them the unbelievers, and the believers, meaning those of the Antichrist, turned against the unbelievers, or those that refused the mark, and they were commanded by this Antichrist guy to go out and kill them, not arrest them, not to punish them, not to beat them, not to put them in prison, but to kill them. So the true believers, those that follow the Antichrist, were commanded to go out and kill everyone that was an unbeliever. And they went into the holes in the rocks and they found the people that were hiding and killed them all. Now let's go back to the verse. He had power to give life to the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Now, here's the point of the whole broadcast. And he causeth them, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark on the right hand or in the foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell. See, that's what this 5G global network of 12,000 satellites is really being set up there to do. So that no one can buy or sell unless they are a member of the world system. And the only way you get to be a member of the world system is to take the mark, to worship his image, and that's this cloned guy, or receive the number of his name, which I think is a 666 number. It's the swirl. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for is the number of a man, and his number is 666. Now, to confirm this, in May, June of 1985, Prophet Maurice Sklar had a vision. He said this was over 20 years ago. He said, I had a visitation of the Holy Spirit that included visions about God's judgment upon America, the nations of the world, Babylon, the mystery of Elijah, and the preparation of the bride of our Messiah, Yeshua. He said, the first vision I saw the earth was from outer space. As I watched, I began to see what looked like neon lights appeared to be like hexagon patterns, and it started in the North American continent, then spread out to Europe, then around the world. It looked like white laser lights traced in approximately 100-mile wide hexagon patterns around the earth like an electronic or laser spiderweb. When the lights finally stopped tracing around the earth, it looked like it was wrapped in an electronic grid, kind of like a geodesic dome, kind of like an Epcot Center. You could see the earth underneath it with its blue oceans and clouds and atmosphere. Then the Lord said unto me, this is what is shortly to take place. There is an electronic web that will encircle the earth like this. It will unite the whole world under the Antichrist system. Listen, it will unite the whole world under the Antichrist system of the end-time Babylon. That means America. Well, who started the internet? Answer, Babylon, America. At first, it will bring great blessings and prosperity like it does right now. It will seem like everyone is coming together and a new age is dawning for mankind. I saw this electronic web expand to the continent of Europe. Then the hexagons from each nation began to grow dark and opaque. It looked like black smoke arose and one after another, each hexagon began to grow smoky gray, then black. After a few seconds, I could no longer see Europe at all. This began to spread rapidly across Asia into Africa, and finally Australia, China, even America, completely blotted out. I could only see the oceans. Then the islands of the seas became black. Finally, the entire earth was engulfed in darkness. Even the blue oceans disappeared. I felt such evil and hopelessness. I heard the cries of millions of souls on the earth trapped in darkness. The Lord spoke again and said, "Do you know what this is?" And I replied, "No, Lord." And he said, "This is the fullness of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. This is what Adam chose for all mankind in the Garden of Eden, instead of union and life with me. They could have eaten from the tree of life instead, and this would never have ever happened." What was he talking about? He was talking about the World Wide Web. So what it's saying is that here before long, you're going to see AI, artificial intelligence, incorporated into 12,000 satellites, and no one will be able to buy or sell, and say if he had the mark of the name of the beast or the number of his name. When? Well, the article I read the other day said they'd have it online by 2020, but that doesn't mean it's fully online. But then what did Terry Bennett say? He said the Lord told him that America's judgment would arrive in 2021, the tribulation. Now, he didn't say it exactly in these words, I'll make that clear, but in so many words, that's exactly what he's saying, that the tribulation would start in 2022 and Jesus would return in 2028. Please note, I did not say the tribulation starts in 2022. I did not say Jesus returns in 2028. I'm quoting another. However, sort of fits in, doesn't it? Now, I'm not trying to say when Jesus returns. What I'm trying to say is don't think you got another 50 years. Don't think you got another 10 years, brothers and sisters. It is getting close. And that's the reason you need to have my book. So let me take a second and tell you about my book. As I mentioned, I've memorized the book of Revelation. And in the process, didn't think anything was going to happen, but all of a sudden I got revelations. Now, when I say revelation, I mean that I'm just reading along and all of a sudden I get this dump of information that may take me 2 minutes, maybe take me 10 minutes to explain what I got in a millisecond. Faster than you can blink your eye, all of a sudden I got information, I got knowledge. And I saw how things fit together. I also got 2 visions and 1 audible voice. And in the process, God showed me that the word first fruits of Revelation 14 links as a secret door to the word first fruits in Leviticus 23. When linked together, the feasts show us what order the prophecies of Revelation come to pass. And all of a sudden, you can understand that Jesus returns 2 more times, not once. The next time Jesus returns, he returns on the first fruits as a lamb on Mount Zion with 144,000 one-year-old Jews. 50 days later, Jesus returns to heaven on Pentecost with the barley and the wheat, and those ready and washed in the blood of the Lamb. They go to the marriage supper. Jesus changes from lamb to lion, from prince of the kings of the earth to king of kings and lord of lords. He has given many crowns and a vesture dipped in his own sacrificed blood and a white horse. Those who are ready to receive a wedding garment and a white horse, which we ride returning with him 4 months later on trumpets. The second time Jesus returns is on trumpets using the morning star and the lightning sword called the morning star to burn the tares. This is the judgment seat of Christ when we receive our rewards. All people who ever ask Jesus into their heart report here. 10 days later, on atonement is the judgment of those who never accepted Jesus, the judgment of the dead. They're judged without the blood of Christ based upon their things written in the books. Whosoever was not found written in the book of life is cast into the lake of fire, which is the second death or soul death. 5 days later on trumpets, the New Jerusalem comes down from God out of heaven. It's all outlined in my book. 1 for 20? Don't do that. 5 for 30? Better deal. Give you 4 books to give away. Or 10 for 55. 1 for 20, 5 for 30, 10 for 55 at prophecyclub.com. prophecyclub.com. It's the secret door to understand Bible prophecy. My promise to you is this. You read the first 13 pages, and I believe you will start handing my book around to all of your friends, neighbors, and relatives. They're going to say, well, is it pre-trib? And you're going to say, it's about the 30 visions that he had, and not one vision had to do with the rapture. He does not discuss the rapture. The word rapture doesn't even appear in the book. And whatever your position on the rapture, it probably will not change in the process of reading the book. Read the book. Read the book. It's not about the rapture. However, I will also say this. Most people reading my book find increased understanding of the last days, which removes the fear from them. It is what we don't understand that we fear. We fear the unknown. And by understanding what the Bible says, we begin to get genuine comfort about the last days. ProphecyClub.com, the secret door to understand Bible prophecy. 1 for 20, 5 for 30, and 10 for 55. Also, it is summertime, my friends. Every time we hit summer, our mailbox fills up with concrete, and it has happened again this summer, meaning that we get almost no donations. So if God has blessed you, and if this ministry has blessed you, the next time it comes time for your giving, would you remember the Prophecy Club? Remember, our objective is to try to reach America with a message that they so desperately need, but they do not want. Most Americans do not want to believe that America is ever going to fall. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death, mourning, and famine. And she shall be utterly burned with fire, for strong is the Lord God. For she saith in her heart, I am rich and increased with goods, and have need of nothing, and knowest not that thou art wretched, and miserable, and poor, and blind, and naked. I counsel of thee to buy me gold tried in the fire, that thou mayest be rich in white raiment, and the shame of thy nakedness do not appear. Anoint thine eyes with eye salve, that thou mayest see. It's all talking about America. And heard a voice out of heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and ye receive not of her plagues. For her sins have reached unto heaven, God hath remembered her iniquities. Reward her, even as she rewarded you. Double unto her double according to her works. In the cup that America has filled, fill to her double. How much she has glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give America. They don't want to hear it, but that's our call at the Prophecy Club, is to tell them, and one of these days they'll be real glad to listen. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your prayers, and thank you for your gifts of support. God bless. Now you can donate to the Prophecy Club on your mobile device. Just text the word prophecy to 444-999 and follow the prompts. Just text the word prophecy to 444-999 and follow the prompts. Message and data rates may apply. You can also listen to the Prophecy Club anytime on Alexa, Google Home, and YouTube. Just say, Alexa, play Prophecy Club. Our websites are prophecyclub.com, watchprophecyclub.com, sevenfoldmiraclecrusades.com, and a Prophecy Club has been a blessing to you. And if God has blessed you, when it comes time for your giving, please remember Prophecy Club. It's summertime. We really could use your help now. Thank you, and God bless. You can now watch 160 Prophecy Club recordings and soon over 300 without interruption. Most people would agree 300 titles, normally $30 each. A gift of $100 a month would be reasonable. $50 a pretty good deal, but the introductory rate for a limited time is just $20, recurring monthly subscription. A one-year subscription is a gift of $200. There's no contract. You can cancel anytime you want to, and you get the first 3 days free just to check it out. The best deal is a yearly subscription that'll lock in your rate for a year even when we raise the rates. WatchProphecyClub.com. Go check it out, WatchProphecyClub.com. It's the testimony of Dimitri Duduman being put through 5 months of torture, twice on the electric chair, the angel coming to him and telling him the fall of America would start with an internal revolution. All of this is also put into a book called Prophecies of the Fall of America. It also has Michael Boldea and the prophecies from Prophet Leslie Johnson. And then I teach through in American Bible Prophecy 193 scriptures. That's 2 DVDs and a book valued at $75, all 3 of them available for a gift of just $30. If you don't get anything, get this. It's called the Wake Up America gift offer at prophecyclub.com.